Welcome back to another Battleborn preview on the nice updated Gearbox Battleborn site with the video previews, so you get a little look at the characters. Today we're looking at Ambra of the Jennerit. I guess I'll go through her bio as you look at her stomping shit here. Ambra long served with the Jennerit Silent Sisters priestess who weaves secret stars into prolonged life called Sustainment. Betrayed by Rendain, Ambra now fights with the Battleborn, healing her allies and devastating foes with localized solar anomalies. She's got very little health, not a lot of power, not a lot of range, and not a lot of speed. So on her stats, she doesn't look very good, but a lot of that can change with the helixes and what she can do. So right here you see her with a spear-type weapon. You saw her kind of shoot out a beam with it. I think here you got a kind of a pushback stomp of a lot of enemies that seems to hit hard. Or a nice little taunt there. And I thought there was a beam we saw. Yeah, that's her sunspot, and then you got some beams there doing some damage. So let's move on. We've got her little image there. You see what she looks like. Some image there of her just cowering everything in fire. And I believe that might be her ultimate, or is that just her sunspots? It's hard to tell from this. I think that's her ultimate. That's bigger than her sunspots. So, let's start off with her abilities. Staff of Radiance, her main weapon. Ambra's Staff of Radiance drains health from a targeted enemy, returning 30% of the damage dealt to herself. So she's got lifesteal there, much like Wrath did. Might be a theme among the Jennerit, we will see. Scorching Strikes, again, kind of the vague passiveness of nothing. Ambra unleashes a series of melee strikes, spending heat generated by her staff to do an extra 38 damage per hit. Alright, that one is a little specific. Her first ability, Sunspot. Summon a Sunspot that does 56 damage a second to nearby enemies at the cost of its own health. Exploding if touched. 750 health. Up to 2 active at once. So that can do quite a bit. Solar Wind. This is a cool one. Channel a fiery wind that damages enemies in front of you. Solar Wind lasts up to 3 seconds, doing 84 damage per second. The cool thing about Solar Wind, it's also on the Twitch previews, is kind of the control of it. It pushes that enemy out. It's not just about the damage, it's about the crowd control of it. And crowd control is very important. Then her ultimate, over here, Extinction Event. Calls down a meteor at a targeted location, dealing 450 damage and leaving a scorched area of effect, dealing 300 damage over 5 seconds. So this thing can do a lot of damage, but it's very slow. So it's kind of avoidable, but if you get caught in it, you are going down. And then her passive, Flame Shield. When Ambra's health falls below 20%, she is protected by a Flame Shield for 4 seconds that provides 450 overshield, 30 seconds cooldown. So that's a very cool thing. Kind of last-ditch effort to stay alive. And if it lets you just kind of get around a corner and start healing up, and with her lifesteal, that can definitely be pretty sweet. So let's move on down to her helix here. Tier 1 on the left is Sunspotter. Enemies linked to a sunspot take increased damage from other sources. This effect stacks across sunspots plus 10% damage. That's not bad. Any kind of debuffs are good. And then Illumination. Solar Wind catches enemies on fire, dealing damage over time, 42 damage per second for 3 seconds. That's not bad either. You're basically increasing Solar Wind's damage by 50%. So, yeah, not bad at all. Up to 126 damage over seconds, so 370 something. Next, Tier 2, Blessing of the Sun. Sunspots transfer their health to nearby allies, healing friendly Battleborn over time, plus 47 health per second. That's very cool. So now you can use them for either damage or healing. And then Solar Burst. Sunspots explode with a damaging area of effect when triggered by nearby enemies. Also very cool. So you can either add healing or damage to it, depending how you want to play her. Ceremonial Sacrifice. Ambra Radiance can be used to transfer health to a targeted ally at a cost of her own life force. Health cost is 30% of healing done. It's not bad. But it can be risky, because she is somewhat squishy to start with. Blood Drive increases the amount of life stolen from enemies through Ambra's Staff of Radiance, plus 20%. That's definitely going to be helpful as well. So again, it kind of depends on how you want to play her. Radiant Gale. Enemies hit by solar wind are blown away, being repeatedly knocked back. That's what I was talking about that crowd control, which is really nice. Searing Wind. Solar wind deals more damage the closer she's to the target, up to 100% more. So if you're really close and you do that, I don't know if that stacks with the previous skills of, where was that? Blood? No. Illumination. So now instead of 84 a second, you would have 126, but another 100%. Both of those, it's 252. That's a lot per second. So, I mean, granted, they have to be right in your face for that, but that's a lot of damage. You're looking at about 750 something over 3 seconds, which is a ton in this game. Tier 5, Cauterization. Ambra gains increased speed when her flame shield is active. That's very cool, because that goes on when she's got below 20% health, and typically you might just want to run to safety, and 60% movement speed will allow you to do that. Or Flame Burst. Ambra's flame shield explodes an expiry, damaging nearby enemies 280 damage. That's good damage, and Nova shields are cool if you played Borderlands, so that's pretty sweet. You know, maybe if you're in a battle and you're both getting worn down, that's the difference between survival or not. So that could be cool, but it depends. You know, you want to use that to stay in fight and go down with a bang, and maybe if you don't get the kill, your teammates do. Yeah, that's a tough one. Agile Anomaly. Sunspots can link to stealth characters and have increased range. Plus 50% distance and reveal stealth. That's pretty nice. Oscar Mike can stealth. I don't know what other characters can stealth, or maybe there's a lot of stealth in PvE. Well, you have to find out how much stealth there is. Solar Storm decreases solar wind's cooldown. I tend to maybe look at that. Cooldown is pretty big, and solar wind looks to be pretty powerful. Flame Staff. Extra damage that Ambra's Scorching Strike does through the expenditure of heat is gained as health. More survival is definitely good. So far, there's been a lot of damage. Or Radiant Spear. Transfers Ambra's staff into a spear capable of releasing all of its built-up heat into a singular devastating impact. So more range and more damage. Again, damage versus health. The yin and the yang. I like those choices. Tier 8, Bask in the Light. Enemies are slow when they break from a sunspot's beam. Plus 3 seconds. definitely helpful. We've kind of covered that slowdown is big. Fan of Flames increases the health of Ambra's sunspots, plus 50%. They have more health, they stay out there longer, they can either heal or hurt more. So that's cool as well. Howling Wind increases solar wind area of effect, plus 40%. That's pretty big. I really like that, especially when you keep blowing away and knocking them back. That can both help your survival and do a lot of damage. Or you can increase damage another 15%. I can get the area back there and get more enemies in it. And now the ultimate add-ons. Shockwave on impact. Extinction event stuns nearby enemies. That'll be cool because it leaves behind that fire doing 300 damage over 5 seconds, which is quite a bit. If they're stunned, they're going to be taking that. Or smoldering remains last longer. Another 180 damage over 3 seconds. That's tough. I mean, chances are enemies aren't going to be running through it, and the chances are if they're hit by it, they're already going to die. So I kind of like that stun to just make sure to take that 300 damage over 5 seconds, that they're stuck in there. Or easy to finish off. So I kind of like Shockwave better, but, you know, that's why I have to play the game to find out. So Ambra seems like a really fun, cool character. Definitely interested in checking her out. And once again, leave your comments below, but be cautious of NDA. Do not break it. I will delete comments that break it, so be warned of that. That's it for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.